Hey guys, what's up? This is Rake. Gonna be talking today about Thor, the Thunder God, because he's been brought back. This is a cool little picture of him. He's part of the January Astromons of the month, which means all of his stuff is going to be up by 115%. So that means all of his stats and stuff are going to be boosted just a little bit. And in case you aren't aware of how it works, is you just go here to the Rebirth Festival and you got to use natural 4-star monsters or higher, and you just need 3 of them and you have your chance at one of these 5 different Thors. Each of them are different and unique, and we're just going to do a quick run through on them to make sure you guys know which ones are which and what they're kind of good for and where they can be useful, and which ones to just be like, well, okay, I got it, but I'm going to go ahead and just turn it into fodder to Evo 3 one of the other ones. So first one we're going to take a look at here is the Fire Thor, because in most people's opinion he is probably the worst of the 5, in that sense that his skills just are not that great for a natural 4-star monster. So if we look at him, he's a defender type. Taking a look at his skills, so defender type, his defense is obviously going to be higher, and he's got 70% defense down chance on his normal skill and a 50% chance to reduce the enemy's defense on his active skill, and then his leader skill is a pumps the allies' defense by 30 to 35%. So if you do happen to get a variant one, I believe all the Thors have the exact same leader skill, so nothing to really worry about there. So where's Fire Thor good? If you don't have a defense downer for whatever reason, he could show up pretty good. 70% chance is not horrible. However, there are plenty of other defense downers that can be just as good, if not better. So if you remember from the 2-star video I did, there was the Wood Squirrus, who has, I believe it's 60-40 on the defense down, same types of skills, single target, and then an AoE. But with the skill books, you can actually level it up so it's 80-50. So there's a 2-star monster who's an attacker, wood element, that has just as much chance, if not a little bit more chance, once he's fully skill booked up. And actually this month you can pick up the Squirrus skill books for like 5 crystals out of the special shop. So not that much, especially if you're doing the Heroes Festival and getting those crystals as you pull, 10+1s over and over and over. You can easily get the Squirrus books to level up his skills and keep him running. But that's the Fire one, so if you don't have a defense downer, he would work pretty well, and he's a defense type, which means he will be able to survive just a little bit longer. If we look at the Water one, he is an attack type, same leader skills as the other ones. When we look at his skills here, you see that he has that morale boost for his normal skill and then a predator for his active skill. So raises his own SP and then deals more damage. I actually have a Thunder God, the Water one, on 6-star, fully leveled, and I use him for farming a lot because he does boost his own SP. I also use him in the Golem's B8 because he, one, raises his own SP and then does the increased damage, and you can pair him up with the Water Mona, who has the Water attack up, Watermon attack up leader skill. So she has the SP gain with defense down on her active skill. He's got the SP gain with extra damage on his active skill, which just means those two comboed together makes for a very fun time in any fire-based level. Moving over here to wind, or not wind, wood, my bad. You have your wood. Where is Thor? There he is. He is a balance type when he gets to wood, which is not a horrible thing. As you can see there, his stats are pretty well rounded out. 30,000 HP, 2,600 attack, 2,500 defense, 1,600 recovery, and that's at 6-starred. But when we look at his skills, he's got Courageous Strike and Blind as his skills. Now, if you look at them a little bit closer, it's going to say critical hits grant additional attack power proportional to the target's maximum HP. So if you do pull a wood and are thinking about building a wood Thor, where would he be good? First off, Courageous Strike is phenomenal in the Clan Titans battles. Because the Titan just keeps increasing in HP, which means he's going to keep increasing the amount of damage he does. However, he does need critical hit rate. Both of his skills are critical hit based, so you need at least one square slot on the wood guy, preferably running that purple gem set to give the additional crit hit rate there, or critical rate hit. Getting those backwards. Either way, you need the square and anything you can do to increase his critical hit. Otherwise, Courageous Strike won't work, and neither will his Blind. And Blind is a good one for the Titans as well, because it actually lowers their chance of being able to crit your monsters. So if they get Blind put on them, less damage coming out to you. So that's the wood guy. Pretty solid monster. If you haven't built him, then you got, that's something to look for. But he would be more of a mid to late game build because of the fact that you need the crit hit, the crit rate, and you need it's geared more for Titans. This is the Light Thor. If you happen to pull him, he's pretty nice as well. He is a tank type, so he's going to have a lot of HP. At 6-star max, he's got 41,000 HP, which I think compares to... He's got more HP than the Shiva. The Light Shiva, which is the big fusion one that everybody tries to get. Light Shiva has 39,000 HP, and your Light Thor, when he's fully leveled, will have 41,000 HP. Now, granted, his attack's not as high, and his defense is a little bit higher, but that's because this guy's a debuffer. So he's great in dungeon runs. He's great in arena or the league defense as well, because he's just such a tank. So looking at his skills, 60% chance to apply shock to a target. For those of you who don't have very many light monsters or don't know what shock is, they can't act and they have reduced defense. So it's like a stun plus a defense down all in one. And then his second skill is defense down. 60% chance to reduce the enemy's defense for 2 turns. So both of them, 60% across the board. There are skill books for the Thors, which means those can come up. It's just going to cost you a little bit of gold and some crystals to get them. Like I said, he'd be great in league defense. He'd also be good as like a dungeon debuffer to be able to lay down that shock and defense down on the different waves, as well as putting the defense down on the bosses. And then lastly, we're going to take a look at Dark. Here he is, the one that I have not actually pulled from the last set. Again here, he is, if we look at him real quick, he is an attack type monster, which means he is going to be like the water one. He's going to have a higher attack than all his other stats, so 2,800 attack there, as you can see. He's got defense down and courageous strike, but again, just like the wood one, both of his skills have to do with the critical hit rate. He has to crit in order for his skills to work. So again, if you pull a Dark, you're gonna want to make sure that it has that square slot on it. If you don't have one with the square slot on it, it would be, I would Evo 3 it for the gems, because that's, what is it, 20, 60, 180? So that's 260 gems just for Evo 3ing it. And it still could be okay if you have really good substats on the rest of your gems, but he really does need that critical hit rate. He also would be good in general dungeons, but he's also going to be really good in the Clan Titans battles as well, because of that courageous strike. And again, this monster, like the wood one, is geared more for mid to late gamers. So as far as all the Thors go, if I had to rank them for newer players, just kind of for their ease of use, I would definitely go with the water one first, simply because he's going to have that SP gain, be a farmer, and get you going pretty quickly, followed by the light one, which will have your debuffs. It will have the shock and the defense down, and it's a good tank, so he'll be able to run in your Golem's basement 10. He would be a good option to like pair him with the light Nike, and the two of them could tank that together. Followed by the dark one. Get to him real quick. The Dark Thor, only because of the two between wood and dark. Dark is going to have that 100% crit damage already established on him. So once you build the crit rate, his crit damage is already going to be higher than the wood, which is the next one here, followed by that one. And the only reason that the dark and the wood take a back seat to the water and the light, in my mind, is the fact that they are more mid to late game Thors, and that you're not going to really use them until you're able to build that crit rate in there and really dive into your Titan strategy. And then last one is the Fire Thor, which is the defense down guy, which, as I said, the Squirrus, which gets 80-50, which is 10% more on his normal skill and equal with his 5-star skill. That is just a 2-star monster that you have skilled up and used the books for, which you can buy the books for like 3 crystals or something like that this month. So you have great 2-star alternatives to the fire, which means that it's not going to be the number one priority for you to pull out. So there it is, guys. Breakdown on the Thors for you. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below, or hit me up on our Discord or in-game chat for OP, and we will see if we can answer some of those questions for you. Take care, good luck, rebirthing, and good pulls, guys.